this is Joe Bolen, and welcome to learning about VisualBasic.net. In the last video, video number 89, we talked about deploying our application. It was a very simple deployment called an Xcopy deployment method. In this video, we're also going to look at deploying our project, but this time we're going to use Visual Studio's ClickOnce method for deployment. This makes it a little bit more professional, gives us the ability to have some prerequisites to be installed with our program, and creates links and shortcuts if we need to. So let's take a look at our program that we're going to use, and let's see how to do a ClickOnce method of deployment. Okay, I have up on the screen our simple program, and just to show you that it's just our program, very simple, a couple labels and a picture box. Now, I've compiled this, and these are the objects in the release folder that I've compiled as release. And I do want you to note that I have changed something from the last video. I've changed the project's target release to 4.6.2 of the .NET framework. Before we had a 4.5.2 trying to target most Windows 7 operating systems, and also Windows 8.1, 8, and also Windows 10 operating system by using 4.5.2 target frame. Well, this time we're going to bring the target frame up, taking advantage of the fixes, enhancements, and security of the .NET framework, and we're going to add a prerequisite that the target computer has to have this framework on it for this program to be installed. So let's go back now and begin the process of learning how to get this program ready for installation. So the one I'm going to do is to take you from the start. We're going to go to My Project, and we're going to go to the Assembly Information button. And what I want to do is make certain I have things filled in. And here's my title. Here's my nice description. Now, the company name helps in terms of the hierarchy of it being installed. So I highly recommend you have something in the company name. And then I also have the product name. So I have this all set in the assembly information. Then we go to proceed by getting the things necessary for a ClickOnce deployment. So what I want to do is go to Signings tab on our project, and I want to sign it for ClickOnce Manifest. Now, I'm going to create a temporary one. If you are registered with a third-party certificate, you could use that certificate. But a lot of times, just starting out, you won't have that certificate. So we're going to create a test certificate. And I'm going to put in a password that I can use for that certificate. Confirm it. And I'm going to use the default here of the hashing algorithm. And we've created the test certificate. Now, I could put also the timestamp server. I'm going to bypass this time. We're going to go down and sign the assembly. Clicking on that. And then in the drop down, I'm going to choose the key that we just created. So I've had that all set, and that takes care of that part. You'll notice the asterisk there, so I'm going to hit a save real quick, save that. Then I'm going to come down to security. And on the security, we want to enable ClickOnce security settings. So I'm going to set that. And this is a full trusted application. And once again, I have the little asterisk by my security. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to come down to the Publish tab, and I'm going to have a location for it. Now, I put mine in a special folder that I have on my U drive, and I'm going to go out to that location, and I'm going to create one that says VB is fun, and I'll actually create in the deploy folder a new folder called VB is fun. Let's say open. It'll ask me to create it. I'll say yes, and I'll have that up there. Now, we're going to do this for a CD, so that's fine for our location. I do not need a URL on this. And the application is going to only be available offline. It's going to be on a CD or a flash drive. So I'll have that set. Then I come up to application files. And here I want to make certain I have all the files. You'll notice I only have 3 files I need, even though over here I have more than 3 files. This is all that's needed for this program. So I'm going to say OK. Then I'm going to go down to Prerequisites. And here I want to say create a startup program to install the components. And for this one, since I'm using the .NET framework, I want to make certain that the person has the prerequisite of the framework. So I'm going to check that. And you'll notice there are other things we could have put on here. Also, we could have had the servers or Express installed there and other components. But we want to have at least the .NET framework installed. And I've chosen to allow this one to be downloaded over the internet if the person does not have the prerequisite. I could include it in my build. It would be a larger build, but it would be there with my CD or my flash drive. Depends on how you want to do this, but for this one, we'll just say from the web. That way we'll get the current version of the .NET 4.5 or 4.6.2 level. I'm going to say OK. Then I'm going to go to updates. In this case, updates, since it's on a CD, it won't go out to a location to get it, so we're fine with that. Then I'm going to come down to the options area. And this is an important area. Here's where we want to have the publisher's name. And this creates the hierarchy we needed when we install it. And you'll see this in a minute. I'm going to use Bolen Computers, fictitious name. And the product, in this case, is VB is fun on that. And I could put in other things if I wanted to have that information available. Since I don't have a website for someone to come to, I will leave these blank. Deployment. We'll come over here, and here's where we want to make certain this is unchecked because we don't have a web page for this. We're going to use the .deploy file extension. And since this is a CD, if we build a CD, we'd like to have it automatically start once the CD's put in. And there is no web server, so I'll leave it unchecked. So we've got these two in the deployment part of the publish options. Then I'm going to go to the manifest. And here I want to block application from being activated via URL. This is not built for that. And I'm going to apply the manifest trust information that we already set. I'm going to create a desktop, and I'm going to exclude deployment provider URL. So these are the settings that I'm going to have for a CD or flash drive kind of installation. Now, if I had this program set up so that maybe it was a simple word processor program, I might want to associate a file extension with that and an icon to go with that. So we come over here, put in our file extension, a description, and link up everything here. But this one doesn't require it, so I'm fine with that. I'm ready to hit OK for everything. And we're all set. Here is our first build that we're going to have. And I'm going to click Publish Now, and it'll go into the folder after it gets done so I can deploy it. So I'm going to Publish Now. It's building. Okay. Now I'm going to go get to the folder. I'm going to go to the U drive and get to that location on that. Okay. You'll see in the deploy, I've got my folder. Here is the information for the installation. And what I would want to do if I was to put this on CD is I'd come up here and burn this whole folder to a CD or copy it to a flash drive. But since this is for demonstrations only, we're going to put it on our desktop. So I'm going to right click and hit copy. I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to flip over to the desktop, minimize this down, and paste on our desktop now our folder. There's our folder, and I'm going to go into the folder as if we had deployed it. You know, probably we put this someplace else on the target computer. It still might be coming from a CD, so that might be a place where it comes from. And I'm going to hit the startup. And it's going to look for the prerequisite, and then it's going to come up. Now notice it's unknown publisher. because I didn't create a certificate that was verified by a third party. Now, if you have an antivirus program, you may find out that you will have to turn your antivirus program off for deployment. It knows who I am in my particular environment, so it's fine, and it will take care of installing. So I hit install. It goes through the install process, and there is our program running. Now, furthermore, let me close out the program and show you something else that it did. It also created on my desktop a link to run the program. There it is. And it also put in my menu, recently added. And if I go down here to the Bolen area, where I said Bolen computers, you'll see it also right there where I can run it as well. And therefore, it's installed and deployed to, in this case, my desktop. Now, the one thing nice about this too is how we uninstall it. Once again, we would come to our settings, all settings. We go to the apps area, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to key in VB, and it should find it. There it is. There's Bolen Computers. Click on it, and I hit uninstall, and it'll uninstall. So once again, before I do that, I'll show you how we do it, and then I'll do the final uninstall for our last part. So let me minimize that down for a second. Let's go back into our program just to remember what we did. We went in through the process after we got everything set and compiled it. We took ourselves to the properties area of the project, and then we went into signing. We created a ClickOnce manifest, created a certificate. We also then chose to sign the assembly. Then we also went down to security and enabled the ClickOnce security setting. Then we went into the Publish tab. We gave it a location where it was going to go. Then we came in and made certain all our files were included. Then we also checked prerequisites. In this case, we want to make certain our .NET framework was there. And in this case, we were going to have the user download it from the vendor's website, in this case, Microsoft, if it wasn't there. And then also, we wanted to check for updates, making sure that was not set because we're doing it from a CD. And we also took a look at options, and we went in here and checked the publisher's name, made sure that was filled in, our product that we had. Also, we set some settings for the deployment. We went in and set some settings for the manifest area, and since this one didn't require file associations, we were set. Then we went ahead and hit the Publish Now, which created it in our folder. Our folder then was able to be copied. Once again, just to remind you, our folder went to the U drive in my case. Let me get to the U drive. Went to the U drive, to my deployment folder. There's the whole folder with everything in it. Therefore, I wanted to burn this particular folder to a CD or a flash drive, and then I used that information to deploy it. We, in this case, deployed it from our desktop. It then created the desktop shortcut and also our start menu items that we could use to run the program. Now let's look at the last part where I'm going to uninstall it. Once again, I've gone into the apps features area of my Windows 10 operating system, and I'm going to hit uninstall, and it'll uninstall as nicely as it went in place. And you'll see it go through the process of uninstalling. There's the message, remove the application from this computer, and I say OK. And there it's gone, and it'll be out of there in just a second and gone. And it's all gone, including the shortcuts, although the folder where I started from is still there if I wanted to reinstall it. So that's all there is to ClickOnce. ClickOnce is a very nice, professional-like deployment method. It allows you to do some things more involved than just an Xcopy deployment. And it gives us the ability to assign the .NET framework target level that we need for our application. Make certain the user has that level on their computer. We can request that it either comes from the web, or we can include it in our build so it's on our CD or flash drive if the user doesn't have it. So those are one of the things that are nice about the ClickOnce method of deployment. In the next video, we're going to take a look at Wix toolset installation, and we'll see a little bit more involved kind of installation, and it takes a little bit more work and also a little bit more training and knowledge on how to use the Wix toolset. But this one becomes one where we can do a lot more in terms of controlling what we need to have done in terms of installing our program. So stay tuned and try that one out. But in the meantime, let's do that ClickOnce method of deployment. There's also the Xcopy method of deployment in the last video, and learn and get comfortable with those. I also have out at Bolen Presents at YouTube a couple more ClickOnce method of deployment where I go into more detail, give you more information to how to do that. So you might want to take a look at those videos out at Bolen Presents at YouTube. So take care, get your hands dirty in the code. Until next time, be good.